into chat. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I was like, is anyone going to take it? Or are we going to have to give a recapspiration to someone else?
All
I see that.
If
someone
someone wants to try beat a 19.
I mean,
Okay.
it can be beat.
And there's always roll-offs for a tie. Well, then we see Lotus has got a 19 going once, going twice. Soul to Lotus. Lotus, give us that recap of what happened last time.
Right. So, we started with our... Alright. We started with going over the contract that Lotus had signed with Vaelish Gant about the arrangement at surface level, seeming to free Vaelish Gant from Revel's End, and in exchange, her getting to spend some time to speak with her father, one of the lords of one of the other 9 hells, Levistus. Taking some time to look it over, and apparently spending so much time sorting through the devilish legalese that it basically gave her a brain cramp, that we did eventually find out that while it did mention that, yes, it would have to free Vaelish Gant, it didn't specify how long he had to be free for, or if we had to take him to a particular place, just that we had to bust him out. So we seem to think that the idea is, like, if we could just get him out for, just a few minutes or a few moments, that should hopefully fulfill the end of the bargain, which hopefully means that we can do so without needing to resort to any sort of violence against anyone working at the prison. Thankfully, though, we were able to do this without the imp catching wind by tossing some dog food at them, and just having the dogs just sort of rough him up a little bit while keeping him distracted. So hopefully he's not aware of our plans. After that, we started to make our way with our prisoners towards the Tourmaline, so we could see about getting our hands on some shiny jewels for, especially for Alicia, in case they need to bring one of us back from the brink of death again. As we did a travel challenge, which didn't turn out too great, which ended with us in a fight encounter with the Banshee. It was a little tough since a couple of us were having to deal with some fear, but we managed to power through it, and Gaiman managed to harvest some clothes from it, which we figured out could be used to make a bag of holding. During our rest, Lotus taught everybody about baseball, how baseball works, and eventually we made our way into Tourmaline, where the local town crier, which is a small child, told us that apparently the local mine's been taken over by a band of kobolds, where we went to the local tavern, found the town speaker, half-orc by the name of Auril. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation there.
That NPC is named... Oh my gosh, where did he go? Continue, sorry.
It's okay. We did talk to town speaker, found out that yes, the kobolds had taken up in the mine, but they hadn't really been hassling the townsfolk too actively or encroaching upon town at all, just keeping them from entering the mine. So we sort of agreed in exchange for some more some diamonds that the speaker had in his possession, along with any we might be able to salvage from the mine ourselves, that maybe see about working out a possible mutually beneficial relationship with the kobolds and townspeople. Then we got ourselves a good rest and talked with Akia about curse that apparently they'd been affected by from that little giant deity statue that we found. And I believe we'd left off right after that.
Excellent. Please take a point of DM inspiration. Our inspiration question, a easy one compared to some of the harder ones that we have had in the past. Describe your character's perfect pizza. As we all know, pizza is a delicacy here in the Forgotten Realms, and everyone has access to it. So you all would know in character what pizza is. So, Akia, please describe your character's perfect pizza as a character that doesn't eat food or drink.
Right. So, Akia would like to try a bunch of different foods. They think about it a lot, actually. But one thing that they would really like to try is, excuse me. One thing they would like to try is a pepperoni and jalapeno pizza. Just thinking about like the spiciness of it, and they're very intrigued about the idea that birds can't taste like spicy peppers, and they'll like spread the seeds and stuff, and then they see people eating them, and it's like a competition sometimes, and they're intrigued by it, and they would like a somewhat basic pizza, but also spicy, so they're thinking pepperoni and jalapeno.
Pepperoni and jalapeno. Sounds delicious. Okay, add a point of factspiration to your character sheet, please.
Okay.
Let us move up to Lotus. Evilis, tell us, what is Evilis's perfect pizza?
Well, she is from, Earth, and her Earth definitely does have pizza. She likes something that's nice, but also kind of simple. So her favorite would be the margarita pizza, just like good tomato sauce, mozzarella, and basil. And her favorite specifically being from an Italian place in her hometown of Baltimore, down the road from where she lives, a place run by a family of Italian-American elves whose family very much insists that their ancestors made the very first margarita pizza for Queen Margherita of Italy.
Gosh, I feel like that's, if you go to any pizza place in America, they would tell you that. We invented the margarita pizza. It would happen. But I could see it happen on Lotus's Earth. Lotus, please take a point of factspiration. Let us move forward to Alicia. Alicia, tell us about your perfect pizza.
If Alicia's talking, we can't hear you.
Yeah, your show up is muted.
Yeah, sorry. Perfect pizza. I think Lotus kind of took my answer for the margarita, but I guess in a second, maybe like a...
Well, maybe you like it for a different reason.
I think I'll go with a second choice, which would be like a spinach, feta, and chicken pizza.
Is it a white pizza?
Yeah, kind of like a white pizza. With, the richness with cheese, a little bit of some greens, and
Some sunburnt tomatoes.
Probably that would have been on the margarita pizza. Since that can be a little bit more tomatoey.
You got to get some memes in there somewhere.
Some memes in there.
Well, excellent. I think that pizza sounds delicious. Please give yourself a point of factspiration. Now, last but not least, Gaiman the Glaive. Tell us, what would Gaiman's perfect pizza be?
Perfect pizza is, not in fact a pizza. It's actually calzone.
No.
So yeah, my perfect pizza is, how pizzas can come in various different toppings. Like the supreme pizza, like all the meats, all the veggies. Like I want all that, and a handy, portable, bread-like pouch or pocket that I could take with me and eat on the go.
Is Gaiman actually the mayor of a small town? With a
Fuck off.
Now we have to get.
Listen, I'm telling you, mates, calzones are superior pizza.
What show is that from?
Parks and Rec.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm like, I know this reference. I just can't place it. Thank you.
Where they just give Ben just shit over and over again about loving
Yes,
calzones.
thank you. That would have bothered me all night. Yeah,
But
Ben and
calzones
his
are
calzones.
delicious.
They are.
Gaiman, that makes complete sense for your character to want a little bit more utility out of your pizza. So calzone, I agree.
Like I said, controversial opinion. Now, I firmly, the player, personally, I'm in the camp of, pizzas are superior. Calzones are okay for variety. If you're feeling weird, sometimes I feel weird. And also, you can get off my lawn. Pineapple does belong on pizza in certain circumstances. So, yeah, run the full gamut there. Come at me, bro.
Now, if you all are
That's more for the three people that are watching this.
I do like a nice taco pizza. Your DM does, where they put all the taco toppings on top of pizza dough. That's quite delicious.
I don't know. I feel like you should just go with taco.
It's good at a pizza buffet when you just want a bunch of different things. Want a taco pizza slice.
I don't know. I guess I have had. I've had I wouldn't say a lot, but I've had a varied experiences with pizza buffets. Like growing up, there was like a Pizza Hut, and that had a pretty awesome pizza buffet. But I mean, any pizza buffet is an awesome pizza buffet when you're like under 6. That went away. That became Skyline Chili, and then we had Cece's Pizza, which when that first hit, like, oh, that was amazing. That was like the spot if you're like middle school, starting to high school, and then just like the quality went downhill, and just I have never been back to any kind of place that does buffet style pizza, and I'm a little leery of doing so at this stage of my life. But enough about me. Let's play some D&D.
So we should kind of look back to last time we were in the city of Tourmaline, and need to open this, start this, and I believe you all wanted to check out the gem mine.
I think we just finished a long rest.
That's
Yes, I'm always wary of hitting that button until the DM actually says you gain the benefits of a long rest, because that's burned me before.
Yes.
You never know when you're going to get jumped.
You guys did not get jumped in the middle of your sleep. You did not wake up with the strangers from the movie The Strangers standing over you, ready to beat you up. There was no woodland critters ready for revenge.
You can ignore my raised hand, sorry. I'm trying to figure out where Vexpiration lives.
Yeah, you guys should be cool. So,
Found
waking
it
up in the morning at the Blue Clam, and dragging NPCs out onto this crazy map. Sounds like fun to me. This gentleman was the acting speaker of the city of Tourmaline. Oris Masthew, half-orc, veteran of Icewind Dale, who has given you this quest to go solve the issue with the kobolds. Also, outside the town hall, you guys have your prisoners. Which is kind of fun. I need to make a specific folder just for your guys' prisoners. Your sled dogs and the limited companions that you guys brought with you here to Tourmaline. So my question is, do you guys do any type of preparation? You guys might disappear off the map real quick. There we go. We're just like, you guys are just ruling over the town with your sled dogs, the prisoners.
I mean, they're good dogs.
Head to the gym night.
They are good dogs. They are good boys and girls.
I hope so.
I got something for on the way to the mines, but I don't think I've got anything before we leave.
I guess really the only thing I would do is like, did you want to go ahead and have, I guess assuming Alicia's got it prepared, have them go ahead and remove the curse for you?
Are you saying that in character or out of character?
I'd say, yeah, I'd be asking in character.
Yeah, actually, you kind of made me nervous talking about it, and I would maybe like you to not talk about it anymore.
And those would be like, all right, fair enough.
Sitting across from you at the breakfast table, would any of your NPC allies catch wind of this? Or is this a kind of a private conversation between Lotus and Akia?
Well, it's like knowing how sensitive Akia's been about it, I would have just been talking to them privately, or at least as privately as possible.
Sure.
All right. Just because it is a thing, and I do kind of want to get stuff moving, I'll say Akia will go ahead and go over to Alicia and just be like, "Hey, Alicia. You're real quiet, Alicia. You there?" Okay, Akia will talk to Alicia later. She is very busy. I think I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Before we go, do we have enough food, maybe, to, maybe entice the kobolds to cooperate with us?
I mean, you said they're like children, so I was gonna make them some of these toys Because that's what I like. I got some rope. I thought we could, practice making knots, and they could play with these toys, and that would be a really good incentive to join
Maybe
the
I should
town.
clarify. I said they are like children, in that they are high energy, kind of on the slower side of picking up on things, and they can, run around and be crazy and violent.
Well, that doesn't sound anything like me.
It sounds like some children. It sounds like the children I knew growing up. Sounds like me. I'm telling you, lads. I think we need food. I think we need booze.
Oh, that's not like my siblings at all.
I mean,
it's fine.
different-
I misunderstood. It's fine. I'll just put my.
I could be wrong. I just,
and,
if we have the food and alcohol, and then your toys, we got all of our bases covered.
Okay.
Well, I could be wrong.
Well, then I will have these toys, and if they do not want them, then I will play with them.
Sounds good.
And you look, and Akia's got he's turned some of the scrap metal into just like little switches and knobs you can just turn, and they make little clicking noises.
Have you just made a fuck ton of fidget spinners?
A little bit. You know those little boxes that's got you can just, each side has a little thing you can fidget with. It's like a little cube. I put one in roleplay, actually. He's got a few fidget spinners, a few just basic stuff that he could make out of scrap metal overnight. Nothing complicated, nothing magic, just little fidget toys that just click back and forth. And they're definitely playing with them as they talk.
Mate, I've got 17 rations right now.
Lotus, I think he's talking to you, because Akia does not carry any food on them, and Alicia's muted.
All right. Well, that works. I mean, really, I usually only carry enough rations, really, just for myself. But if we need any more, I've got plenty of coinage I could throw in towards buying more.
Do we want to throw the kobolds a pizza party? Everyone knows that pizza is one of the most loved foods on the Sword Coast. Maybe kobolds love pizza.
Or because the kobolds are in the mind, they're a practical sort, like dwarves, and they understand that calzones are the superior food.
So we will fold the pizzas in half?
No, not the same thing.
You can explain the difference as we travel.
The one known as Danica Greysteel will say, perhaps you're both onto something, that appealing to them, to their hunger, might be the way to do this.
Yeah, Akia will listen to you explain the difference between pizzas and calzones on the trip there.
And Lotus will go along with it. She likes the idea of the pizza party, but she'll say, all right, either pizza or calzone, either of those are fine, so long as there isn't Chicago deep dish involved.
Oh,
I have to appreciate the fact that you said Chicago deep dish. It did not throw in pizza, because it's a fucking casserole is what it is.
Yes, and I imagine she would go on the entire Jon Stewart rant about that.
All right, so we go to. Do we need to roll to see if there's like a pizza place?
If there's a place that you guys can buy pizza in Tourmaline,
Yeah, I think
Fuck
we
it,
want to
yes.
buy pizza.
Let's buy pizza and beer and show up
Yeah.
to the mine saying, "Hey, let's have a pizza party."
Yeah, we brought video games and pizza for the kobolds.
so you guys are at the Blue Clam, which is the most illustrious restaurant in Tourmaline. Also, the only restaurant in Tourmaline because everywhere else was destroyed by the Chartlet Dragon. So you could see if the purveyors of the Blue Clam have pizza for sale.
We're going to need all your pizza.
If they
Okay.
offer, we got to find out first.
Okay, so let me just open. Well, excuse me. The Blue Clam was destroyed. You guys are at the east side.
Right.
I'm sorry. I mean,
The clam was blue. It's because it was killed.
yes. So you guys are in the east side in the current only restaurant here, and I brought us back to the map. And I'm going to need... Let's see here. The innkeeper. Okay. Would approach you guys because, you're the only group of adventurers in here. You're also famous.
Wait, famous or infamous?
I would say famous. You guys saved
Yes.
Bernshander. And the NPC, their name is Marta Peskarik. She is the owner of this innkeeper. She would approach. Hey, I noticed that you guys were kind of hanging out, looking about. Is there anything that I can do you for?
Actually, we were sitting here discussing. Do you or does any other place in Tourmaline offer pizza?
She looks and she says, wow, we haven't had an order for that in quite a while. But yeah, we do have a pizza that we make here. We got all sorts of travelers that make their way through, Tourmaline because of the mines and of its access to head towards the Sea of Moving Ice. So we've got two options. We could do a knucklehead trout pizza, or we could do the Forager's Delight, which is, it's topped with mushrooms, herbs, and berries that are picked from local bushes. But my personal favorite is the knucklehead.
What are you guys thinking? Should we get like how? I wonder how many kobolds are in the mine. Maybe we should get as many pizzas as they can make to be safe.
So, I mean, apart from, fish, I mean, what is on the knucklehead trout pizza?
The knucklehead trout pizza features, the region's famous knucklehead trout. It's smoked and sliced thinly. We serve it up with kind of a creamy garlic-based sauce, and we sprinkle it with fresh herbs. Well, as fresh as we can find,
Should we ask the kobolds their preferences first?
I'm beginning to think that, it'd be a waste of money if we did, a bunch of both, but it turns out they ain't interested in, its vegetarian option.
Nice.
Right. Oh, so those with current experience say, well, we may be interested in putting order in for a large amount of pizza later on. Just want to let you know so that you're prepared.
Later on, we don't want to show up. If we show up with food, I think that would be the best way to ingratiate ourselves.
Perhaps maybe we just bring a little bit of each then. Start with.
Oh, as a sample. So this is what you could be enjoying.
Yes, exactly.
We should bring perhaps 3 of each just for the leadership then.
Ooh, yes.
Okay.
Sir, could we get 3 of each pizza?
Okay, so you're wanting 3 large knuckleheads and 3 large foragers' delights?
Hold on, maybe. What's the price of pizza? Or can we get like a quantity discount or something?
She looks to you and she says, no one's ever asked for a quantity discount before. Typically, we only price our pizzas at 1 silver piece for a medium pizza, which would serve, maybe 2 of you, or 3 silver pieces for a large pizza, which would serve all of you. But
we should not try to put the people of Tourmaline in a financial strain for our consideration. They already have a rough time here, Gaiman.
Oh, see, food is very cheap in Dungeons and Dragons.
Look, all right, I'm just trying to understand. I wasn't trying to beat anybody up. I was just, seeing what it costs. And not to mention, if we have to order a fuck ton of these, I mean, think of the price might be nice. You know what I mean?
Their walls are literally falling down around us. We should support local business.
So that's what the walls were doing.
Barely. Yes, 3 of each pizza, please.
Okay, 3 of each pizza? So do you want 3 larges?
Yes, please. And if you could wrap them in some sort of container, that would be amazing.
I've got some leather bags I could put those pizzas in. Would that work?
I know nothing about pizza. Would that work? I'm not even sure what these pizzas look like. Will the leather bags work?
Marta casts prestidigitation and shows you an image that I put into chat of what the pizza will look like.
Yes, we will slide those into the bag of holding. That should work nicely.
Okay, so you want 6 large pizzas. That would be 18 silver pieces.
Okay. And I will hand her the two gold because I have no wait.
Yep.
No, 1 gold, 8 silver. I have that. I've got some silver pieces. I was looking at Electrum. I've got no. Okay, yep. Sorry. 1 gold, 8 silver.
She looks to you guys, and being a good host, she would say, "Now, you guys just taking the pizza? You gonna need anything to wash that down with?"
Gaiman, did you want to purchase some like a keg?
Right.
You had mentioned something about beer.
Yeah. It just. I'm really thinking the whole alcohol thing. Because Maybe not alcohol right yet.
Maybe. Are you afraid that they will be wild children?
Yes.
Maybe something weak then? Just to make sure that it is potable.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Do you guys have cider?
Oh, yeah, we do have some non-alcoholic stuff. You know, there's a lot of people in this town and across the region that are dealing with the disease of alcoholism, she whispers.
It's a disease.
That's what they say down in the, the cloistered halls down there in the fancier cities of the Sword Coast, that as you drink more and more of the alcohol, the fermented stuff that we like to brew here in our mead halls and such, that it can, turn you into a dangerous, violent individual, reliant on the stuff.
I remember saying that.
Then the proper amount for 6 pizzas accompaniment.
Okay. Well, I can sell you a whole barrel for only 6 gold pieces.
Gaiman, that is much more expensive than the pizzas. Is this required?
No, it's not. It's just, I don't know. Depending on the situation, I was just thinking, like, alcohol could, be used to make minds pliable, but, yeah. Let's just roll with the pizza. And we'll start there.
Whatever you think will help us avoid violence.
Avoid violence is don't fucking go. But that's not an option. So yeah, we'll just start with pizzas. That's probably the safest thing.
She says, got it. I'll get those 6 pizzas out to you as soon as we can. It should take us just a few minutes. As she walks away, you begin to hear her sing a song to herself. Ahead of winter's wind she came, the lovely woman with no name, draped in a fur-lined cloak of red. To the icy lake she fled, the wind pursued her all the same. As sure as night she's dead. As she's walking away.
Yeah, that's not morbid at all.
Can see her through one of the holes in the walls as she is individually rolling out the dough for the 6 large pizzas. She is starting to sauce the pizzas and go through the process of building the pizzas.
Of course, OOC, I'm like, is there meaning behind this song? Is there a question mark over her head?
Don't you mean exclamation mark?
Oh, yeah, exclamation mark. I haven't played that in a long time.
You're just singing over there that song kind of on repeat. A little creepy.
Yes. Is Alicia's player back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. Akia is going to go over and be like, hey, Alicia.
I'll probably say for RP reasons, Alicia was, I'd written out in chat, took out some incense, candles, lit them, and was in the middle of a ritual to cast divination. So real quick, Orf, trying to ask a question concerning this whole mine situation.
Okay. I am ready.
Lord of Light who shines above. We plan to go into the mines near this settlement to meet with the kobolds that reside within. Actually, we like to meet with them in order to establish a relationship between the town themselves. Do we believe this meeting will be favorable?
Okay. The divination will reveal to you kobolds in the mine are not the true danger below. The kobolds of the mine need your help as much as the people of Termini.
Okay. Alright. So then, yeah, when Akia comes over, you would see that Alicia's kind of has their eyes closed. And it's just kind of whispering over these incense and candles. And then hears you, kind of turns their head towards you. Yes?
Do you need a minute?
No, I think I'm just wrapping up.
Oh, okay. So I've been thinking about it, and it seems like everyone's concerned about this curse that's making me want to travel north, and I don't want people being concerned about that. So just at your soonest convenience, just whenever it's convenient, you can perform the things that you need to do to make sure that
To remove said
that
curse.
that's it's okay. Yeah, if it's, I mean, I guess it could be considered the qualities that one would expect to see in something that you could call a curse. I guess.
Uh-huh.
Which you could then theoretically remove.
Well, it hasn't caused any harm at this point in time, and I would be lying
People
if I said I wasn't curious as to why it's trying to lead you north. But if you truly feel that for the betterment of the group it should be removed, I can do so.
I'm less concerned about the curse does the air quotes. I'm less concerned about the curse, and it actually bothers me more that people are concerned about the curse than the curse concerns me.
If this is truly what you want, then I can perform spell necessary.
Yeah, yes, please. If it just at your earliest convenience, I would like to not be the center of attention again because of it.
I find it odd that you don't wish to be the center of attention. I feel as one that is... Well, I guess your origins is still a bit of a mystery, but one with such a connection to a divine being, such as the Lady Frostkiss, that you mostly wanted to avoid said interactions. That's just me thinking out loud. But please, sit.
Okay. Kia sits down.
Alright. Alicia will trace a symbol within the air as they take out their prayer book. they'll trace a few other smaller symbols around that larger one. And then, drawing the light from that symbol, they will press it. What was the object again? Was it like a statue?
Yes, you've determined that the little statue, the giant statue, it's a totem. With a little pointy head guy.
Okay. Are you currently holding on to it, or?
No, it's just on their belt.
Okay, they probably would have asked you then to place it on the table.
Okay. Akia will take it off of like their key ring sort of thing, and they'll set it on the table, and there's just like a little aura around it. It's cold to the touch if you touch it.
They'll likely be able to feel it by proximity, but the light that they draw from the symbol, they'll take and they'll press it against the middle of your chest as it expands, washes over you, and then boom, that's it. Remove curse.
Alicia casts the spell. You feel the curse fade away from you, Akia, as the item is unattuned from you.
Akia will sit there for a moment, and then their eyes will go wide in realization, and they will like just backhand the statue as hard as they can and send it flying across the room.
Ooh.
It sails across the room, and it just kind of lands on the ground, just next to some just random Icewind Dale citizen.
And Akia will just let out this yelp as they do it.
Is everything okay?
It's cursed.
Okay. I see now.
That was horrible. Everything since I picked it up just replayed in my mind, and I could see its influence on me.
Did you feel like you had control of yourself while it was in your possession?
Yes. And I justified all the anger and to myself. And it was like everything was just normal, but now that since you did that, everything just feels like I've been lying to myself for days.
Alicia will kind of get up from their chair and will kind of step to Akia and will put their arms around him, just give him a hug. Not saying anything.
Thank you.
Anytime. For everyone else in the room, do not touch that statuette.
It's cursed.
You could see someone was like walking over to pick it up, and they like stop.
No. Do not touch. We're gonna have to figure out some way of disposing of that thing.
We can put it in the bag until we find some place to get rid of it. I don't believe it will be able to extend its curse to anyone if it's in a pocket dimension.
That is very likely.
We could just call
Am
that
I-
a on shaft.
Wait, just a quick check. Is that too metagamey to say that?
Why would it be metagamey?
Yeah, I mean, that's literally what a bag of holding is.
Yep.
Okay, just checking. All right, Akil will go over and just set down the bag of holding, open it up, grab some utensils, pick up the statue, and drop it into the bag of holding using the utensils and close it up.
As you do so, you are able to apply it inside of the bag of holding without the curse from taking you back over. You're able to boom, put it back in.
All right, I will unattune to the frost giant totem.
I guess while that's happening, Alicia will look at the rest of the group. Sorry, I wasn't really being attentive. I was in the middle of something. I thought I overheard pizza? That we're bringing pizza to the kobolds?
Yeah, Lotus had moved
Yep.
over to the other table here not to disturb Alicia, and because I imagine Gaiman would be complaining about her secondhand smoke as she was enjoying her morning cigarette, and would be like, "Oh yes, we're getting some to hopefully be able to ply the kobolds into a deal."
So about that, what I was doing was trying to obtain an answer from my connection to my deity. What I got back was more or less saying that there's something deeper in the minds that is a concern to the kobolds, as well as to this town. I think we may have to deal with that. We're really going to be trying to make this diplomacy work. So probably want to be geared up for whatever may be further down.
If it's further down, we will need lots of rope.
And we don't have the immovable rod yet.
Gaiman really wants an immovable rod.
It's super useful, guys. Super useful.
And Lotus would be like, "Oh yes, Gaiman, Watto's told me about all sorts of things you can do with an immovable rod."
Don't spoil this for me.
She gives a little giggle under her breath.
I was about to say, cut to the scene of Lotus and Watto talking about all the things you could do with an immovable rod. Lotus, I know that we're in a flashback right now, but you see, there was a story of heroes using an immovable rod to actually destroy a monster from the inside out, if you could believe it.
Oh yes, I believe I read that book too. The tales of a group called the Vox Machina.
Yes, somehow they figured out that sometimes it's better to be inside a monster than outside.
Indeed.
And we go back to the other scene.
I heard a story once where there was a prisoner on an airship, and someone placed an immovable rod on them to keep them from moving, and then they took off and forgot about the immovable rod. The rod did not move with the airship.
Oh, that's disturbing.
The woman approaches your guys' table. She has 6 kind of slightly steaming leather pouches / satchels that seem to be your pizzas.
Oh, these leather pouches look very nice. We shall be sure to return them.
Oh, I thank you very much, and yes, if you can, I would appreciate that. They're part of the, legacy here of the East Side Inn that I've inherited from my father.
Akio will take the pizzas and place them in the bag of holding.
Nice.
We got a pizza delivery box, just like the professionals.
Well, I believe I'm ready if we are going to head out.
Louis will put out her finished cigarette on an empty plate, stand up and say, like, well, never expected I was going to be a DoorDash delivery gal for a bunch of kobolds, but here we are.
Should we hire a runner so that we can send messages back about how what is the word? Negotiations are going, and in case we need to bring anyone or transport anything back and forth?
Well, remember, Akia, I can send text messages. Then she taps aside the Flavy mask.
Yes, but then I will not be able to return these leather bags.
All right.
Danica will say, well, I could be the runner. I could run the bags back to town. It's only a short trip back and forth from the mine.
Okay. All right. I'm ready to go.
Gaiman is deep in thought at the what he previously thought was, oh, we just got to ply the kobolds with beer and pizza and talk union, we're good. But no, something deeper, darker, more disturbing is at the bottom of all this, and he just has a worried look on his face.
Yeah, I guess Lewis would see that look on your face and say, like, Gaiman, are you all right?
What? I was just hoping we could get the kobolds, stuffed on food and booze, call it a day. Now it seems like we're going to have to do some pest control. Or more likely, slay something evil or demonic.
Well, it seems like we've been doing a lot of that as of late.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I enjoy a good fight, but, the prospect of doing something different had its appeal. Now my joy for doing something different is overshadowed by the fact that we gotta go kill some evil motherfucker again.
Guess Thane's job is never done.
With that, your companions can hold down the fort. They can make sure that your NPC prisoners do not escape.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna ask about that. No, this town's ruined. Never mind. I was like, do these guys have a jail cell? Wait, no.
Not for that many prisoners. Anyway.
Or they probably do. It just has gaping holes in it.
Although I kind of feel like Doug and friend might. It's hard to tell, but they might actually be sort of. I don't. If they saw an opportunity to run, they're resigned to their fate for now. If they saw an opportunity to run, would that change their opinion of the situation? Don't know.
100%.
All right, but yeah, I think if we feel like there's enough people here watching them and we're ready to go.
Okay. Then we can start heading out toward the mine. The mine is only a 13-minute walk from town. Northeast of Tourmaline, in the woods surrounding the town, you would follow the trail to this wood. And you find along your way, you might run into some flavor text. Advance the clock 30 minutes. The trail that you all are walking on winds through the dense woods, each step muffled by the thick carpet of snow. The entrance to the gem mine is a yawning tunnel, dark and foreboding, carved into the rock. Nearby, there are empty carts lie abandoned, their wheels frozen over. There is a crude wooden sign propped against a boulder. It bears a simple phrase, written in charcoal. That phrase says this, and let me show you this image.
For rowdy children, they have very nice handwriting.
And yes, it is written in the common language of Icewind Dale.
And before I do so, I propose to the others, like, if you would like, I could attempt to call out to them to Draconic if you'd like me to get their attention to come out.
Well, we can take a few steps in and then call. The weather looks bad out here.
Alright. Though I would suggest we approach with our weapons stowed so that we try to look as non-threatening as possible.
I will.
Like, define stone. Like, completely out of sight, or just like, no, draw.
As just not drawn. You know, we could still have them on us.
Because I was about to say, because I got a lot of weapons.
Indeed. And with the what we were told about the other threat, she says very softly, in the mine, I don't like the idea of, you know, leaving ourselves completely unarmed.
Yes, and if we go in with no weapons at all, they might think that we are foolish. And then that would be bad for negotiations as well.
This gives a silent nod in agreement with you.
Let us proceed, and Lotus, you can... Although, did you see that sign? It was written in the common tongue. Perhaps if they can write in the common tongue, maybe they also speak the common tongue. We can try.
Start with Draconic.
We can try both.
I mean, it's a respect thing, isn't it?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, what do you mean you don't? I mean,
You asked me if it was a respect thing,
what? No,
and I was saying I don't know.
I didn't ask you if it was a respect thing. I said it's a respect thing, isn't it? Well,
Which is
it's
a
like-
question.
Yeah, but I wasn't asking a question. I was just saying, like, it's a matter of respect.
Oh, that's a rhetorical question.
It's a rhetorical question.
I see. My apologies.
As you all make your way into the cavern, you walk down some kind of hewn steps, and you see that there are racks holding picks and hammers nailed to the wall of this cavern. The floor is covered with rock dust, and you can see various footprints within the dust.
Can I make a like a survival check, like a tracking check, to see if I can't identify the types of creatures that have come and gone?
Absolutely. You can give me a survival check on that.
And also, like, the freshness of the tracks, perhaps.
Absolutely. Gaiman's check reveals that there is a mixture of, first, reptilian footprints, as well as footprints that look like they belong to some sort of giant species of rodent. These footprints all appear fresh, as if they have moved around in the last 24 hours.
Okay, Lotus, I believe we can start calling now.
All right, Lotus will just step forward, like, just slightly, keeping the rest of you nearby. And then she'll clear her throat and then start calling out in Draconic, say, like, hello, we come from the town of Tourmaline. We offer you mighty kobolds food in exchange for parley.
Lotus, can you give me a performance check to see how well you carry your voice through this cavern, and just like how persuasive Lotus may be?
All right, I just grabbed one, so let me go ahead and burn a DM inspiration on this.
Sure.
$18.
Okay. Your voice kind of echoes out throughout the chambers of the cavern, and you can kind of hear it echo throughout.
This is where we came in, right? This.
Yes, that
Okay.
is the entrance behind you all.
All right. Gaiman, is it okay if I call out in common as well, or should we only speak in Draconic until something? I can't speak Draconic, so I'll have to talk in common eventually.
You know what? Yeah, just do your thing. Just forget I'm here.
Oh. Okay. What she said, but also hello from me too. Akia just says that. They don't yell at her or anything.
Okay. About, we will call it 5 minutes kind of passes. And you see kind of some movement in the darkness. Now, it should be noted that the spot that you're at seems to have no natural light. It seems to just be dark. And you all can see two
Oh, I should
reptilian
probably
figures.
clarify. Once we enter the mine, at least they had cast light on themselves.
Oh, okay. Well then, in the outstretches of the light, you can see some small little reptilian figures in the light. And they call out in Draconic. You mentioned that you have food. We like food.
And I'll relay that to the others.
Well, tell them yes.
It's like, yes, we do. The townsfolk have, and she'll speak to them in Draconic. It's like, the townsfolk have given us food so that we may parley with you about the mines.
Oh, you wish to speak to our leader, they say in Draconic.
She responds to them. It's like, yes, we would.
Mighty Trex. He has giant wings and red scales. They are a powerful kobold. A dragon reborn.
From this point on, can we just assume Lotus is translating for us?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wait, hold on, back up a tick. Kobold reborn. Is this reborn kobold, walk on all fours, or is it not beetle with the wings and whatnot?
Be like, well, it's like, I'll turn back to the kobolds and say like, your leader, are they a kobold like you?
No, they are not a kobold like us. They have wings. They are smart. He can speak the language of the humans.
She'll nod and say, okay. And sort of wait, hold on. Let me just double check something real quick. All right. She'll open her hand and using minor illusion, she'll just sort of ask like, okay, but do they look like this? And it'll just sort of show a holograph version of regular kobolds. Then she'll close her hand. Or do they look like this? And just sort of show like a miniature holograph version of traditional dragon.
They give you the signal that they look more like the first one.
Oh,
Right. And
Lotus,
okay,
try making one like the kobold, but just add wings.
Okay. And then close your hand. Open up again, and you see just a kobold, but with a pair of draconic wings sprouting out of its back.
Yes, just like that. That is Trex.
Yeah, they say their leader looks like this.
Ask them to... So they don't speak common then? Just the leader?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess ask them if they will show us the way.
Alright. If you take us to your leader, we both share the food with all of you.
We
The two
didn't
kobolds
bring that much food.
will look back to them, to each other, and start to whisper. And they say, we have little food now, and then we take you to leader?
I'd say like they want a slice.
Oh, tell them that their leader, it's in a design. Their leader might notice that some of the food's gone. Their leader might get mad.
I look at them. It's like, would your leader not be upset that we didn't save the food for them?
Oh no! They hold their hands to their heads. Yes, you're right. Master Terex would be very angry with us if we ate some of his food.
I would sort of give a thumbs up to Akia. Good for catching that. Very well. If you lead us to your leader, we shall give them the food, and they can disperse it as they see fit.
They huddle again to each other. That is acceptable. Will you... They look to you and say, are you going to kill the monster?
Monster? What sort of monster?
There's a monster in these mines. It eat people and kobolds.
Tell them we can talk about it.
Yes, we can talk about this with your leader.
They find this agreeable.
Let's try not to make too many promises before we know what type of situation we're in.
Yeah, Lewis nods and very much agreeing with that.
The two kobolds will introduce themselves as Scorp and Thwip.
It's like and Lotus will introduce herself, and you actually hear what her name sounds like in Draconic.
Are you going to attempt it, Marcus?
I am not.
Okay. You should practice, and then next week.
Maybe not next week, but at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say we, since Scorp and Thwip are agreeable to it, I'd say we follow them.
You can follow us, but be careful. We kobolds are trixies and have made several traps.
It's like, right, and I'm sure it would help if you pointed them out along the way to us.
They will not. We will do so. Thwip and Scorp will start to walk this way.
Alright, and then you have Lewis will motion for everyone to follow along.
Which way did you go?
We're down here, they say.
I think I'm stuck in some.
There we go. As you guys continue to follow Thwip and Scorp, they bring you to a room. There are benches and tables set up as workspaces where miners clean gemstones that they find. Gravel and pebbles are strewn on the ground. Scattered across the floor are hammers, picks, and broken lanterns. Here in this room. Thwip and Scorp begin to move out of the room if you guys aren't interested in looking around.
Akia is going to get distracted and start looking at like things like they want to repair them. They'll like but then they'll notice that everyone's moving on, and they'll set the broken lantern back down, and bring up the rear.
Whip and Scorp will tell you, you have to be very careful as they walk out onto this wooden plank. There are wooden planks and struts form a walkway along the wall of a seemingly bottomless vertical shaft. A narrow waterfall cascades down the northeast wall, and the sound of rushing water is loud in the confined space. They begin to yell to you all. You'll have to cross one at a time. You all are big, Kobold's small. And they pull out their saws from their tool bag, and and they make sawing motions in the air.
Oh, I think they've damaged the supports to make sure no larger people can cross. You know what? I think I actually touch. I think I can cast touch spells through Kumakyu. I don't want to do something that I can't actually... I don't want to say I can do something that I can't do, so I'm going to have to look up service. I feel like I can. If I can... Okay, it doesn't say that there, so maybe not.
Were you hoping to do some mending?
Yeah, I thought I could do that, and I would have sent Kumakyu down to mend some of the rafters before we try and cross. But I guess that was a different feature of some other class that I was getting mixed up. I think that's probably like the druid familiar, and I think I just got them mixed up in my head.
Sure. Well, Scorp and Thwip will instruct you all to just cross very carefully, one at a time. Do any of the characters individually weigh more than 2 kobolds?
How much does a kobold weigh?
Probably.
The kobolds are about the size of like a human child, like a 5 or 6 year old. So they're roughly between 40 to 50 pounds. And with their gear, I would say they are probably about 70 pounds. So if any of the characters weigh more than 140 pounds, you're looking at this rickety bridge in front of you. With a little
I would
apprehension.
say, I imagine that's probably most of us, but I don't want to assume anything about Alicia's weight.
As you guys are looking at the bridge, Garrick will say, if you guys need, I might have a way to make you guys a little lighter. Maybe he begins to pull out some paper. If you need a quick slim down, I might be your man.
Quite possibly. This bridge may not support our weight.
If you're talking about a deal, no.
Oh,
Rats. She got me. I was gonna see if I could get you to agree to something.
And I guess I'm imagining all of the supports are under the slats, so like you would have to take the bridge apart to repair it.
Either that, or you'd have to have a way of levitating down, or climbing down to get under there to repair them.
Mhm. I've got some climbing supplies, but this looks very dangerous. Does anyone have a good solution? Because I don't think we can cross as is.
If someone's able to get across to the other side, maybe they can help break up some rope to assist the others.
All I can do immediately is if everyone holds onto a rope as they cross, if they fall, I can make them way less with feather fall, but I don't. I can teleport people across, but it would take a lot of magical power. OOC would use all of my second level spell slots, but I could teleport people across. And I think Danica's with us, so I can only do it.
She's just waiting to take all your pizza back, right?
Yeah. I'm
Well,
not sure how far in she wants to go.
Lotus doesn't open it, but she taps her pack and says, like, I do have a dimension scroll door scroll, but that would only work for myself and another.
Maybe it would be best if I tried to repair the bridge. But that would take some time. I would have to go very slowly. I would have to pull up these slats, repair the bridge underneath, reattach the slats, and then work my way across the entire bridge, repairing it systematically. It would take me about 30 minutes.
Going it back into the room with all of the gear. Does it look like there's enough stuff to cobble together a climbing kit?
I do.
There's ropes, there's hammers, there's like pitons, there's shovels, there's like anything you could possibly want or need to work in a mine is here.
Yeah, I've also got pitons and hammers and piton hammers and rope.
I think Alicia will suggest that we use a little bit of elbow grease.
Okay.
All the tools are here. We should use those. And like we said, or like I had said earlier this morning, there's something else that's further in, and we don't know what we'll be coming up across. Gaiman, do you think you'd be able to maneuver your way across to the other side and secure some rope?
So is there like a lip beyond the platform, or is it just like sheer drop and then the path continues?
So how this is set up, I'm going to grab this tool here. So when you guys enter this area, if this is this view, there is the hole down at the bottom, and there is a walkway that has been built. We'll display it over here on the wall. And there are these struts, I'm the worst artist in the world, that have been connected to the wall, and the kobolds have climbed down and started to saw through these struts.
And that was essentially their trap for anything that is weightier than them.
Correct.
They walk over it, it breaks, they fall into the hole.
Yeah, anyone that weighs more than about 140 pounds could set this off.
Gotcha.
Now you guys could just take off that amount of gear. If you're without the gear, you would weigh that much.
I would definitely weigh more than 140 pounds without my gear.
I'm horrible when it comes to weight.
Same.
I think holy shit, at least over 140 pounds.
Oh, I can. It's just not in that. It's under reactions, channel magic on the homunculus sheet. So yeah, I will use. I knew I wasn't crazy after all. It was just in a completely different spot. I will send Kumakyu underneath the bridge and have them as a remote control welder and use mending on all the slats to repair the bridge.
There we go. That'll work. Process takes just a few minutes, and once Kimiko is done, the bridge is completely safe for you guys to cross. That's a really useful feature that I don't think Kumakyu has used up until this point.
I say as Lotus passes Q, we'll just board them and give it a little scritch behind the ears.
They have a tiny, tiny hard hat, and they appreciate the scritches.
You know, I don't think it's possible you could make Q seem even more adorable, but somehow the hard hat does it.
So when you guys are clear of the bridge, you can see that the kobolds are waiting inside of a wooden pulley system that has been constructed around a large hole in the floor. There's a bucket big enough to hold several adult humanoids. It's held up by a thick rope. There are 3 alcoves next to the lift containing wooden boards and mining equipment. The kobolds will say, "Oh, we use this to get up and down between levels."
All right. Does it look like it was designed for regular human type people?
That's correct. It's designed for adult humanoids of medium size.
All right. This looks like it should support all of us, plus some mining equipment.
And there is a crank inside the bucket. Or there is a crank on the side of the pulley system you guys can use.
Bucket.
This is like a hot air balloon if the balloon portion was a rope.
And give me one moment. I'm going to make the thing do the thing. So you guys are all lifted up as the bucket is kind of creaking and creaking and creaking to the top. The bucket is actually descends to the floor of a small cave where 2 dusty tunnels lead in opposite directions. The ride is made maybe a little, what's the word? Kind of a little crazy because the kobolds are just constantly staring at you all, their mouths watering at the thought of food.
Just to sort of maybe try to calm them a little bit, Lotus will remember back to her days on Sundays at the Church of Bahamut and just start singing a soft hymn in hymn. You know, traditional dragonborn throat singing.
Now, the two kobolds, as they lead you out, they lead you to this room that seems to have a picnic table. Inside the room are two other kobolds. And Scorp and Thwip look over to them and they say, "Greg, Small, these are people from the village. They have food." And the two kobolds stare and begin to like drool as they hear the sound of food.
Step up.
Is Terex near? They seem to be distracted by their eating table.
You will take the food to your leader first, so they make sure that it's rationed out properly.
The kobolds all look a little downtrodden, and the first group that you ran into will tell the second that you all are, of course, waiting to meet Trex first before you will deliver the food upon to them. The kobolds will all sigh, and Scorp, Thwip, Small, and Grek will start to kind of like line up over here, and they will start to lead you all. This is going to be a little crazy. To another side of the cave. And they say, "Here, follow us." And Scorp will lead this merry band of kobolds toward this area here. Give me one moment, make sure that this works. Okay. And if this is set up correctly. Yes, okay, so if you guys enter this area here, let me play that. If you enter that T, it should teleport you guys to the right spot where the kobolds were walking over to.
It sort of did, but it stuck me in a wall.
Let me see if it puts this guy in a wall. Okay, give me one moment, guys. Sorry about that. Kid, it's in you back.
So it's just,
All right.
Is this just weird map stuff, or is it an actual teleportation device?
This is map stuff because this is taking you underneath what is like a little tunnel and putting you out to where you guys need to be. So if you guys can see, the kobolds, one by one, start running underneath this little tunnel, taking you guys to the correct portion of the map.
Is this walkway also trapped?
As you guys kind of make your way out of this walkway, or down and out of this walkway, you see that this downward slope ends where it opens onto the center shaft. A wooden walkway extends from the opening and runs westward to another tunnel in the rock. In front of you, a large bucket, like the one you saw earlier, dangles from a taut rope that stretches southward across the shaft and is connected to another wooden platform 15 feet away. The kobolds will look to you, and if you guys had no light source, it would be completely black here. But your light source allows you guys, of course, to see what's going on. The kobold, Small, will explain. We would use this mechanism, and they point to one of the cranks, to shuffle this bucket from one side to the other. You could put a person in there, or we could do ore or anything that we find within the mine.
Is Trex in that direction? Pointing to the south across the way.
The kobolds shake their head in the negatory, and they will say, if you want to find tracks, follow us. And they will continue to lead you on a merry little chase, kind of walking through this cavern.
I'll look at the bridge and make sure it's not rigged to fall. Now that I know what I'm looking at.
Absolutely. The bridge itself looks like it is not rigged to fall.
Okay. I will take a little step out. And then cautiously continue moving.
And the kobolds, one by one, will start slowly but surely leading you guys into a kobold cave.
Yay. Kobold cave.
Lurking in this kobold cave, you see that there is many kobolds. One of them is wearing a threadbare satchel and bears a mighty pair of dragon wings. This kobold, wearing the dragon wings, raises its hands in surrender, saying in common, "We mean you no harm. Please don't hurt us." The kobold.
Oh, that's
Looks a lot
great.
like this.
That's great. That's great.
As you guys walk in.
Oh, noble Trex. We are from the village of Tourmaline, and we have come to talk with you. We bring gifts.
Gifts? Well, we, of course, will accept gifts from you and the town, if that is who you are bringing them from.
Gabe and Alicia, y'all haven't had much talk time yet. If y'all want to hop in front with someone that can speak common.
Yeah, this guy is speaking in
Yeah, go
common.
ahead.
Gaiman is now afraid at this point that he's just going to torpedo everything. He thought that these were going to be children. He didn't think these guys are going to be like fucking bluffing idiots.
Okay.
It's just a red kobold, just a regular little red kobold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gaiman's instinct at this point is just to be a bit of a bully, and he's like, nah, man, this is just, I've got to make it worse.
I guess Alicia will then kind of walk up front. We'll kind of kneel down to them. We'll extend a hand. You are Trex, the leader of this tribe?
Yes, I am Trex, leader of the kobolds. You see, myself and my fellow kobolds were seeking refuge in the mine after being chased out of the foothills of Kelvin's cairn by a Yeti. The miners that were here got scared and ran off before I could explain that we meant them no harm.
Interesting.
I believe them.
Could you describe this Yeti? Just curious. Did you get a look at it?
Its fur was brilliant white, its face monstrous, its nose blue. It had rippling muscles, sinewy. Its claws gleamed in the light like the sickles of a deathly angel.
Okay, it's not the Yeti yet we know of. That's always good. Well, it's glad that you all were able to make it out and make it somewhere where you could be safe. Though,
I too am very glad that I could save my compatriots from their fate, being eaten by a Yeti, consumed by its darkness.
I see. Both smart and tactical. I will give them a nod. Well, the place that you and your tribe has moved into, as you said earlier, this mine is part of the settlements that's nearby. I guess they were very curious and wary about you and yours, but it also sounds like you have discovered something else that's here, no?
Yes, there are dark things within this mine. Monsters from the deep, from the underdark, that have crawled their way up. They have captured and eaten some of my ilk, and before we could warn the miners of its appearance, it gobbled one of them up.
Were any of yours able to see what it was? Could they describe what this thing is?
He looks over to Smol. Smol, could you describe? And you see that Smol looks over to Trex, and Smol says in Draconic, "Man, I just can't believe he can't speak Draconic anymore, guys. I just don't really understand him anymore."
Lotus will go ahead and translate for Smol.
Smol will describe. It had a lot of tentacles and long, sharp beak. It was like a big floating sack that would grab people.
Lotus will suddenly freeze in place for a moment, having a terrible flashback, and then using the minor illusion, she'll open up a hologram in her hand and show an image of a mind flare and ask Smol, like this?
Smol shakes his head. No, it had like a bird beak.
I guess then the question would be, do I recognize the description at all?
Based on this description, you all can give me an Arcana check.
And for me,
Why'd Bahamut show up?
sorry about that.
I can tell you guys the monster did not look like that.
If it did, we got a lot of problems.
Absolutely. Akia and Gaiman, strangely enough, you guys both recognize their description. You have heard of this monster before, a creature that operates within the Underdark, a Gorel. And if you have never encountered a Grell before, they are a bulbous floating brain with wide bird beaks. And they have long tentacles made up of sinewy muscles that they use to grab prey.
Well, that sounds terrible.
Since we rolled kind of okay, can monster recall for like things about the Grell? Are they susceptible to guerrilla tactics?
They are susceptible to some things. You guys could ask me one question about the Grell based on your checks.
One thing each, or just one thing, period?
One thing each. Akio, what do you think? What would you like to know about the Grell?
I think Akio would try and recall if they. Well, they're down here in like the mines and stuff, so they're gonna be like, can they dig? I think is going to be a huge deal. Do they have a dig speed, basically?
Yeah, you know, without a shadow of a doubt, they do not have a burrow speed.
Okay, I think that's going to be the biggest thing for Akio. It's like, can you see them coming? Are they coming out through the walls and under your feet? So, okay, that's good to know.
And Galen, do you have a question you would like answered about the Grell?
Is there a damage type they are susceptible to?
You know that Grell, based on your information, Galen, are immune to lightning damage, but they are vulnerable to thunder damage.
If we end up battling this Grell, we could try to kill it, or we could try to seal it off somewhere.
Yeah, but the trouble with all quite sealing it off somewhere. Then just, leaving it for some other poor bastards to look at.
That is true if they are long-lived creatures. I don't know how old they can go.
Well, after you punch it to death with your thunder gauntlets, you can do an autopsy.
Yes. I was not so reliable in the last battle. I will try to do better this time.
The kobolds that are standing nearby, they look hungry, and they look to you and say, we have brought you to Trex. Can we have the food?
Oh, yes. Then I'll speak of tricks. Your friends seem to be hungry. You promised them food if they brought us to you.
Yes, the only thing that we have been able to scrounge down here in the depths of darkness are rodents. And we have been surviving on only rats for what seems like forever.
Lotus, can Trex and the other kobolds not communicate?
Yes, from what the other kobolds say is that Trex is unable to speak Draconic.
Did something happen, Trex?
Rex looks at you and says, No, I just forgot how to speak this language.
You kind of cut out there for me.
He says, I forgot how to speak it. After that incursion with the Yeti, it was just so traumatic. My brain turned off that side of myself.
Yes. Well,
I'm sorry.
Is that a meta joke of some sort?
No, I just I thought I was gonna hear a insight check from David after I said that. I just haven't heard it yet, so I was just making me kind of chuckle.
Well, and that is insight check.
As well, insight check on Trex.
I would like. No, I don't have Team Inspiration. All right, straight roll.
Gaiman, you can tell that he's lying when he said he forgot how to speak Draconic. Something about it, just his mannerisms, his the structure of the sentence. It just made no sense.
Gaming just shakes his head in disappointment.
All right. I shall. Is it a good time for eating?
Yes, it is always a good time for eating. What interesting fare have you brought us?
Well, Akia will start pulling out the pizzas from his Pizza Hut delivery pouch, and these are called pizzas.
Oh yes, I've eaten several pizzas in my life.
Insight check.
You can definitely roll an insight check on that. This kobold is telling the truth. They have eaten several pizzas.
Oh, then I am jealous because I am not able to eat.
The kobold, Trex, will put his hand upon yours and says, I apologize for your inability to eat. If only I could share with you one of life's most truest pleasures. Then maybe we could only but understand each other just a little bit better.
Hopefully, one day. And Kia will get out. We'll just systematically get out all 6 pizzas. And I guess explain the differences between them as someone who has no idea what flavor is can do. This one is fish. It might taste fishy.
You're the D-team waiter at the fancy restaurant.
I am not sure if that is a good thing or not.
The kobold will look to you all and say, you have brought us so much tidings and things to be thankful for in these dark times. This everlasting winter has made the wilderness and caves such as this, even, dare I say it, unsafe. And the preternatural cold dulls our wits. Please. We only want a place to stay, so we can keep out of this horrible weather and out of the grasp of the Frostmaiden. We can work and we won't cause trouble. Please let the town know that Tourmaline will be the richer for having us.
Do you believe your people can work side by side with the townsfolk's?
Yes, and I will teach my people the common tongue.
All right. I suppose we need to make the mine safe for the miners if we are to reestablish a supply route.
Yes, of course.
Is everyone ready to have them, like, point us in the right direction of the monster? Is there anything else anyone wanted to bring up before we're like, hey, point us in the direction of the monster?
Not for right now.
All right, then I think we're...
Here's one thing, and once again, I want to make sure I'm not metagaming. I'm looking at the art of Trex here. Do I notice in character that his wings are constructed?
You do notice that his wings are literally made of sticks and paper. Yes, you do.
I guess Lotus will ask him, it's like, that's very nice wings you have there, Trex. I've never seen a kobold with them before. She says with very heavy sarcasm.
Yes, I grew them after our encounter with the Yeti. I have become a second-born kobold, a dragon, only in, my earliest stages of life, a wormling.
Yes, if only someone of my stature could ever grow such amazing wings. She says, rolling her eyes so hard you all could probably hear it.
Maybe you can one day.
There is one other thing that I would like to point out to you all.
Okay.
Before you check on the monster, there is an object that I wish for you to look at.
Okay.
Alright.
I warn you, the object is very spooky.
Okay.
We appreciate the warning, but we've dealt with our fair share of spooky objects.
All right, Trex will order Thwip. And he will say, Thwip, have them go bucket by bucket and show them the skull. And Thwip will say, I have no idea what he just said. Where does he want me to go? He says to you, Lotus.
Lotus will speak back to him with your comments. Like, Trex wants you to show us something called the skull.
Ah, the skull, yes. And Thwip will have you guys follow him out to the wooden planks. Alicia and Gaiman, the conversation that you all just were a part of, there's something off about this kobold. And Gaiman, you caught him in a lie. And Alicia, this kobold just gives off a strange vibe that the other kobolds don't give off. Whereas they are kind of like friendly and just koboldy. This guy seems a little haughty in a way that is a little off-putting.
I really like Trex's wings.
Say, yes. No. And yes, and I'll whisper to Akia, yes, it looks like he made them himself.
Yes, that is how wings work. Oh.
No, I got you, Orf. But see, that was the thing I was going to ask about when we came back from the whole dealing with this Grell creature. But we kind of ran through it into it anyway.
Sure.
But yeah,
So,
no, Elisa definitely took note of, was indulging him for the time being.
Sure. Thwip will start operating this bowl device, and one by one, he welcomes you all to get into the bowl.
I'd say as Thwip is operating, I'll speak to him in Draconic and say, Thwip, I did want to ask you about your leader treks. Have you noticed anything strange about them recently?
Yes, he stopped speaking Draconic, and he's been acting very wiggly, like he doesn't want to eat rats anymore, and he doesn't want to eat bugs. It's very strange.
Let's see. You recall when this change in behavior started?
Around the time that we got assaulted by that Yeti.
What does he want to eat, by the way?
Oh, he only wants to eat, like, vegetables and, what we would call human food.
Who's the first one in the bucket? Who's the bravest of the group?
Gaiman steps forward.
The kobold will start working the crank of this bowl like bucket, and he kind of Vanna Whites his hands towards the bucket.
Did they like the pizza, and did they have a preference of which pizza they enjoyed most?
They really liked the trout pizza, and T-Rex would only eat slices of the foraged pizza. The other kobolds didn't really want to eat the mushroom pizza, but after they eaten all of the slices of the trout pizza, they did eventually acquiesce to eat the mushroom pizza as well.
Good, good.
In total, there were 0 slices left of the pizza. The kobolds now all have distended fat bellies from shoving as much pizza into their little kobold faces as they could.
Having a working relationship with the town will bring you more pizza. All right, as long as I guess we all eventually make our way across.
Yep, no checks necessary. You guys are able to be kind of carried across. And embedded in the wall here, you see something interesting. A fossilized skull juts out of the east wall of this cave, 5 feet off the ground. The skull has larger than normal eye sockets, a curious ridge between the eyes, nothing that would pass for a nose, and 4 small holes where one would expect to see teeth. The image of which looks very similar to this image. Lotus, as you see this image, can you give me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Oh god. 16.
All right, Lotus, you recognize this skull as these creatures assaulted you for your time in space. This is the skull of a mind flayer.
Yeah, I guess you all would see Lotus study it for a moment, and then you just see her face go pale, and she has to sort of like catch herself. It's like, oh.
Interesting that one would be in the walls down here.
did mention creatures from the Underdark, and these things do tend to frequent there.
Yes, but I assume the Underdark is a large place. It is still would be a very large coincidence.
Lotus will tap on the Flavy mask and say, Flavy, analyze the skull.
Beginning analyzation. Lotus, I'm detecting a magical sequence, a signal from within the skull.
Can you identify the signal?
It is giving off a psychic energy from within.
Is like any idea what it's saying?
It is giving off some sort of light, and I can detect strange thoughts coming from within.
Do you have any way of translating or interpreting them?
They are scattered, but I will attempt to break them down into a more digestible form.
Mm-hmm. And as she's doing this, she'll relay it to the rest of the party.
And you guys can see from within the eye slots of this Mind Flayer skull a faint purple glow.
Well, that's not creepy. Well, I don't think it's going to be going anywhere.
I do wonder what made this hole.
I am curious as to why the skull is here. Do you think it may be like a memorial of sorts?
Or, as I look at the skull, does it look like a place was carved out for the skull and then the skull was placed in there? Or does it look like the rock formed around the skull, like this is something that died and then the rock formed around it, like it's a fossil sort of situation, or if it was placed there?
Give me a nature check.
I will bump that up with Keen Mind to a 20. I mean, not Keen Mind, overclocking.
All right, you believe that the rock formed around it. This was some type of fossil stuck in this wall.
I believe this has been here for a long time and not placed purposefully, but that does not make it less dangerous necessarily.
Yeah, Lotus nods, figuring that the signal is probably just some sort of whatever its last thoughts were, and she'll call out to the kobolds and say, "Make sure no one touches this thing."
Actually, I believe that if it was not placed here on purpose, destroying it might be the best course of action.
Lotus will look towards Alicia and Gavin and say, how do you all feel about that?
It could be.
Can't feel a lot. Maybe if we just break the skull and set the shit down here. Make the tracks touch it.
That is a good question.
Wait, you're a fucking kobold. How the hell do you forget draconic?
It's also possible that the creature that we're hunting was lured to this place by the psychic emanations of this skull. It could be luring creatures from the Underdark. Okay, so I'm just coming up with that myself on the spot, but does Akia have any reason to believe that in particular?
Yeah, you could give us Arcana check and notice the mask. Flavy says to you, the signal I am receiving is giving off some sort of distress signal. As if it is calling out to some sort of ship or other mind flayer incursion.
So Matthew the player feels like this thing could only be calling out to dangerous things, and if we destroy it, anything that was going to come to the signal, anything that already knows about the signal would have already come to it, and this would just stop any new things from finding out about the signal and coming to it. So Matthew the player doesn't see any, only sees a benefit in destroying it. But let's see what that 23 gets me.
You answer, Matthew, if this is a magical item, as Flavy is saying, it would be probably hard to destroy, as magical items in the 5th Age of Magic are notably hardy and adamant.
This could be calling to something.
I swore, break it.
I think I might have an idea. I don't know if it'll work, but Chill asked like, Flavy, are you able to communicate with it at all?
I could attempt to communicate with the magical source within.
Right.
That might be dangerous, Lotus. You might end up with that thing's voice inside your head.
Yes, and believe me, I've had enough of that. It's like when I was on the ship, mind flayers don't talk. They communicate telepathically, and they showed me things, and their grand design, she makes the air quotes, they want to take over everything, and whatever they can't, they want to make slaves. So seeing the many horrible images they showed of them wanting to do that, you see her visibly shudder.
Lotus, do you wish for me to communicate with the device?
Hold, please. and she'll just sort of like mute Flavy for a moment and say like, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I can maybe try to get in touch with it, maybe deactivate it, but you all keep a very close eye on me, and if you see me acting strangely or anything strange at all happening to me, just pull me back. Like,
Akia grabs your arm.
Should we? Do you think it's safe to just leave it here?
Don't trust it.
No.
It's been here this long.
It might be what the reason that this monster is here.
And that's the thing. I think this is probably, at least from what I can tell, this is the best way, at least at the moment, to maybe try to find a way to deactivate it or turn it off if we can't, if we're not able to destroy it.
If Flavy can talk to it, maybe he can just but it can get it to shut off.
So that's all I want to do. I don't care about anything else. Just want to, just turn it off.
Akia just nods while still holding onto your arm.
All right. Lotus she won't pull away from you. She'll just sort of look at you carefully, Kia, and say like, all right, but remember, if I start acting strangely or anything at all, just pull me away, okay?
Okay.
All right. He'll unmute the Flavy mask. It's like, all right, Flavy, I'm ready. Establish contact.
All right. As Flavy attempts to establish contact with the crystal and the skull, Lotus, give me an intelligence saving throw.
All right.
Uh,
All right. I'm going to go ahead and burn my expiration on that. So I'll bump it up to 14.
All right, with a 14.
I'm scared about that, so I'm gonna see your eyes sort of glaze over a little bit.
You haven't seen anything yet.
Oh. I was just saying I was just gonna bump that up if it's okay.
Let's see, hold on. This feature is so busted.
It is busted.
Because you would have no idea that they failed this. But you can see them, so you can add it to the roll, I guess. Go ahead.
No,
You
that's
add it to the
okay.
roll?
If it's too metagamey, I'll well, that's fine.
Because it's happening within Lotus's head. That's a hard one. Lotus, you are momentarily stunned as you are pulled into a realm of kind of purple light, and everyone, you see Lotus's eyes turn a little purple.
Or I guess
Oh,
more purple
more
than they were
purple.
already anyway.
As the sclera, iris, the whole kit and caboodle turned purple for a moment. But Akia, thanks to your process of overclocking, Lotus is able to fight through the effects. And as you do so, the fossilized skull of the Mind Flayer breaks away, revealing a purple crystal embedded in the wall. And the crystal is pulsing energy.
give you a little shake.
Ah. Is everything all right?
You broke the skull.
All right. Didn't really see anything. Just purple tunnel of light, and then I was just back here. Sure, sort of like shake it off and see the crystal. Say like, Flavy, analyze the crystal.
It is a crystal formed from trauma. When a mind flayer is killed, a psi crystal, a object that can provide many telepathic powers.
Being a bit wary of it, she'll look over at Akia, say, "Shall we add it to the bag?"
Sure. And I'll have, it might be dangerous to touch. I'll go ahead and have Kumakyu go over to it. And then just tap it with their finger. Make sure that they don't go nuts off of one tap.
You're so sane.
All right, I'll have them grab it and truck it over to the bag real quick.
All right, the psi crystal that you pried out of the wall is now in the bag.
All right, no more Elithid distress beacon. I believe that is a good thing.
Very well. Shall we start proceeding deeper then?
As you guys make your way into this section, sparkling geodes greet you as you enter this cavern. There are gems exposed in places, sticking out from the walls like glassy shards. The floor rises near the eastern wall, leaving a natural ridge with stone ramps leading upward on either end.
It seems that we've come to the latest place in the mine. They had not had a chance to extract all the gems. This must be the most recent addition.
Looking around, you believe that you guys could withdraw intact geodes from the wall, or potentially other items, if you were to spend an hour with a mining pick.
I'd say Lotus would walk up to one of the walls and gently run a finger down one of the geodes and say, "You know, Dad got me one of these for my birthday one year."
A mine?
She'll give a little chuckle under her breath. "No, not a mine, a geode. You know, it's about size of my fist and had a fun time breaking it open with a sledgehammer.
Oh. So there is a path up, you said?
This seems to be kind of an isolated section. If you wish to go back, you'll have to go back through the kind of bucket transport system. If you guys are wishing to go interact with the Grell.
Oh, I thought we were headed towards the grill.
Oh no, they were taking you toward to see the kind of gnarly skull thing they were talking about.
Oh yeah, that's right. I got so distracted by the skull, I forgot that they told us to go look at the skull.
Happens to the best of us.
I would like to return here. Or perhaps someone that has experience in these sort of things could return here, and then I could get crafting materials from them. It is beautiful. And I do have a miner's pick on me. I just pull a miner's pick out of the bag of holding.
Mm-hmm.
Akia sort of looks over at the group.
I admire your enthusiasm, Kia, but I think we've got a Yeti to take care of first.
A Grell?
And the Grell as well, yes.
I believe the Yeti is still
At
in the
large out
mountains.
there in the world.
Back in their old home. The Grell is in their new home. The Yeti's in their old home.
Right.
If I understood correctly.
You know, that does
Okay.
seem to be a recurring thing of people being chased out of their homes.
All right. So I don't think the party's gonna let Akia mine for gems right the moment. So they will put their pickaxe away, and after admiring the walls for a few minutes, we'll head back towards the bucket.
So how deep do we have to go to get to the Grail?
So if you guys go back to the kobolds will inform you that you need to go back that way. And they will inform you
Stuck in a wall.
that Akia is stuck in a wall. You will have to go back past the kind of the elevator that you first went up to come here, and instead of traveling south how you did before, here's Scarab. You'll have to travel north and east.
I don't think my token's alive anymore. Nope, it moved.
Can we fast travel to that location
Yes.
to where that
so-
splits?
Sorry, the map was getting a little funky fresh for me. I can put you all in where you need to be. Here, let me stack and drag you guys there.
Hey, Lotus, before they leave us, you should ask them if there's any more kobold traps this way.
And yep, she'll go ahead and ask, make sure they point out any more traps that are along the route.
The Grell will inform you that their trap making on this level has been rather minimal because they don't want to catch themselves in their own traps, which has happened before.
There are a lot of very large boreholes in this region. Does Akia know of any creatures or machines that would make this sort of this large of a hole?
This is a ridge. So it appears to be kind of like a ridge that people have dug out with mining picks.
Yeah, I was like these holes. Like, here's another one. There is like the third one that we've come across.
So as Akia is looking out into the hole, tell me, how are you guys trying to figure out where this Grell may be?
Listening for anything suspicious.
Okay, listening for suspicious creatures. Got it.
I'd say looking for like any sort of like blood or any signs of like a struggle or a fight.
Gotcha. All right, here's what I would like you guys to do then. Please give me perception checks as you are looking about, trying to find where this creature may be. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Alicia, you are able to point out as this is about to happen. Your allies seem to be completely unaware. As you look up, perhaps you felt a dripping near you. As you can see floating near the top of the ceiling, like a balloon that's been released indoors, are several of these floating brain-like creatures.
Darn. Heads up, everyone. Literally.
As Alicia says, heads up, the creatures will start to growl and let out strange noises as they're going to roll into initiative. It appears that Alicia has won the initiative, so we will begin. And Alicia, you can take us away.
And these things are 15 feet up.
They are 15 feet up, floating near the ceiling.
Okay. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna step back.
All right, you are stepping back. They are 15 feet tall. Ooh, okay. So as you move out of the reach of the tall boy, the Grill Patriarch, you do trigger an attack of opportunity. The Grill Patriarch.
Okay, that definitely hits.
And as it touches you with its barbed tentacle, I'm going to need a Constitution saving throw.
Alright. Let's try.
Okay, so you are not poisoned. When you are attacked by this tentacle and it hits, you guys see this tentacle as Alicia tries to move out of the way, wraps around her waist as it has her grappled.
Oh.
So this creature has used its reaction to grab our dear Alicia with its tentacle.
Okay. Since it did damage me, technically you can use reactions even on your turn.
Yep.
I'm going to use my reaction, and I'm going to get it back with Heavenly Rebuke. So I needed to make a dex save, which it makes, but that's half damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The grapple parts sucks.
Yes, it does.
But I'm gonna do this anyway. As my action, I'm going to cast Bless on everyone with a second spell slot. And then bonus action, I'm going to use my Weapon of Faith, summon my spiritual weapon, and it's whacking time. Whacking it for 27 to hit, 13 force.
That is a hit upon the Grell Patriarch.
And that is literally everything I got. I will pass it to Game.
Right, the Grell Patriarch is going to steal. Alright, the Grell Patriarch. It's got Alicia wrapped up in its tentacles, but it sees that there are other folks around it. So it is going to target first. It sees this floating animal, so it's going to shoot a lightning ray at Kumakyu. As it begins to charge up its lightning ray, you see its body begins to charge with electricity, and it will fire its first ray at Kumakyu.
Okay. Kimaku's dead.
And then it will target the person right next to Kimaku, Akia, with a lightning ray.
All right. I think I might be able to absorb elements lightning. Turn type. I don't see where it lists the types of damage that you can use it on.
Or absorb elements.
Yes.
Oh, click the wrong thing. Lightning is one of them. The
All
only
right.
one that it can't do is radiant and necrotic.
All right, I'll use my reaction to absorb, to gain resistance to that for 1 turn.
There we go. Okay, that was the Sane Grill Patriarch's action. It's just kind of floating around, making evilly monster noises as it does so, kind of sending out this kind of telepathic scream. And Akia, would you like to see it?
No. I have. I'll wait till the last second, just because that resistance wears off when I go. So.
Okay. So it will then pass to Abashed Grell. Alright, it is going to float 5 feet over. And then 10 feet down. So it's kind of 5 feet above Lotus. And this little Grell is going to use its action to make a tentacle attack against Lotus. 15 will miss. And then it will attack one more time with its tentacles.
Alright, on that one, I'm going to go ahead and burn my reaction in a first level spell slot for shield. Alright, bump my AC up to 21.
Alright, and its tentacles slaps, miss, and then it gets one final attack with its beak.
Alright, that one will get through.
It gets you with its beak. Lotus, you have been damaged. You wish to steal.
Yes, I do. Alright. Let's see here. Alright. Then I will go ahead and here damage, so tell you what, I'll just go ahead and attempt to back away from it, which will attempt to provoke attack of opportunity.
Yes, it will try with its tentacles.
And that will miss. Alright. Alright. Hang it here. I'll go ahead and target the patriarch here. Alright. I will go ahead and spend a sorcery point for a transmute spell. Wind up fire bolts. Say Flavy. Transmute to lightning, and I'll go ahead and pitch that at it.
Before you make that decision, I want you to make a history check for me.
Oh, sure. 16.
Okay, and here's why. Because you guys made a successful check on this earlier tonight, and you may have these reversed. These creatures are immune to lightning and vulnerable to thunder.
Well, thank you for sight here. So let me rephrase that then. I will go ahead and swap it from fire to thunder.
So in character, Flavy's like, but Mistress Lotus, your friend Damon and Akia were speaking about this. They are weak to thunder.
Thank you for the reminder, Flavy.
Mm-hmm. A 12 will hit the creature for, oh my gosh, 16 damage, which is doubled because it is thunder.
Alright, I will... Not really much room to maneuver, but I'm still in pretty decent shape here, so... I will just go ahead and hang here, and I'll go ahead and pass to Gaiman.
And Gaiman is up.
All right. I'm reading something real quick on my sheet. I'm sorry.
No problem.
All right. Bonus action. I'm going to get out my Remoraz whip. I'm going to say the special word and light it up. I'm going to cast command on Big Bird over here, and I'm going to tell him to approach. I'm going to make this motherfucker duel me.
All right, here we go from the Grell Patriarch.
Oh, you shithead.
Lucky the Grell shakes it off as it kind of shakes its tentacles around, which kind of shakes our friend Alicia around with its tentacles.
Maybe it doesn't speak that language.
Shit, ugly brain like that. I'm sure it understands me just fine. Your mum's a wanker. Fuck off. Come here, bastard. That's my action economy. That's kind of it.
Right.
I'll take it if you wanna.
I'll pass to Akia.
All right. I'm gonna-
Remember, I told you to fist them with your thunder.
Yeah, I've got.
Time for a fisting.
Oh goodness. Yeah. I've also got thunder grenades, so I was thinking about that, but we are in a very enclosed space, so I'm not sure it's a great idea. Sorry, let's see. 10-foot radius sphere is... Yeah, that might cause a cave-in. So yeah, I'm going to punch this one. I'm going to attempt to punch this one next to me twice. Do I need to get... Can I punch it from here? I would like to punch it from here if I can.
Yeah, you can punch it from right there. Well, that is a critical hit with your thunder damage, so that's going to deal double damage to this Grell. It is bloodied. $16 hits the Grell for double. And it's near death.
Alright, and then I'll bonus action to give myself some temp HP and pass to the remaining Grell.
Alright, the remaining Grell is going to kind of move here, floating down 5 feet. So it's in a flanking position on Akia to give itself a +2. It will multi-attack with its tentacles. 17 does not hit Akia. It will tentacle again. A 19 doesn't hit Akia. Let's see if it rolls too higher again. A 21 would hit Akia with the flank.
All right. I will use my reaction to activate my Radiant Gauntlets special ability, which I'm putting in the chat, to attempt to blind it if it's even blindable.
As you go to try to blind it, you look at the creature and realize it doesn't have any eyes.
Okay. I think these things might be immune to blinding.
They're immune to the blinded condition. Hold on, let me do this for you guys.
You know, sometimes things have eyes under their skin, like barrel eye fish. You never know.
Floating brain tentacle monsters. So in round 2, to start off, they would have to pass to Akia to start us off next time. Unless, Akia, you don't accept and do not wish to steal.
Oh, let me apply that 8 damage. Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, so then let me write us a note. To round number 2. And let me pin it. Perfect. And let me take us back to the Rime of the Frostmaiden start page, as you guys are in this battle with the Grell. Nope. Well, excellent. Well, I hope you guys had a fun session filled with pizza, filled with silly kobolds, and filled with tentacle monsters. What else could you ask for? If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns for me going into next session, please let me know. Otherwise, we will continue our adventures in the lands of Icewind Dale next time on Icewind Dale Rime of the Frostmaiden.
Thanks for running.
All right.
My pleasure. I hope that you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys next week.
Have a good weekend.
See ya.
My pleasure, guys. Bye-bye.
Catch you run later.